Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another HD broadcast. And today, or at least tonight, I just had to look out my window to check, make sure exactly what time it was, because, you know, casting all the time, you tend to lose track of time. But yeah, I thought I'd go ahead and look out and try to find a good set of games to cast. And I really wanted to cast some tournament games, some tournament plays, cast a good series of battles. And I was able to run across the TL Open number 2, and a lot of good players are competing in that. I've decided to go ahead and pick up the cast starting from the semifinals onward. So if you guys are watching this game right now and you guys, want to watch the entire TL Open replays or broadcast, then you guys should probably stop this game right now, because I'll be spoiling all the games up to the semifinal just by revealing the players. So, if you guys are still tuning in, then you guys obviously want to hear this broadcast, so hopefully this is going to be a good one, and we are going to be watching the semifinal, what I'm going to call semifinal A from TL Open number 2. And for one of the players here from semifinal A, it is going to be Lalush, or Lalush. I'm not exactly sure how to pronounce him, but he is a European Zerg, and a very, very good Zerg at that. One of the best Zergs I've seen thus far competing in StarCraft 2. And I know I might kind of give you guys a little bit of, I might phase you guys out by saying, oh, this is the best player, this is the best player. I always say these are the best, but honestly, I always try to pick, or strive to pick, the best of the best players. And so, when I do say that Lalush is a very, very good Zerg, I do mean it. He's been prominent all throughout the beta. Notice right now he's actually trying to get his hatchery up, but his opponent Ag doing a very good job of keeping that drone from plopping down and becoming a hatchery. This probe is stopping evolution. He is against Darwin right here, and he's finally gonna get away from the drone, and the drone should go back and build that hatchery. No, actually, taking a look back at the minerals, I never actually glanced at this. It looks like Lalush was never planning to get a hatchery down early on after all. He's just actually getting a spawning pool, getting his gas, gonna be opening with a very standard, I think, 14 pool, 16 gas, and then he's going to, 14 gas, 16 pool. And then he's going to try to gear up and get that hatchery around 21 or 22 supply. Now, enough about Lalush. Let's talk about his opponent, Ag. Ag obviously has to be a good player as well. He had to come across all these players. I think the TL Open number 2 had at least 100 players. I might be wrong. Someone can correct me on that. But he's definitely one of the best, because he's come down to the Final Four, and although I've never cast a game of Ag before, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and say that he's a very good Protoss, and I hope he is, because I want to see a good old Rush'em Bash'em Protoss versus Zerg battle, one of the best matches in StarCraft 2. Now, if we look at Ag, it looks like he is trying to secure his natural expansion fairly soon. He's opened with Forge Gateway, and he didn't try to block the ramp with that pylon photon cannon wall. Now Lalush is going to be getting his hatchery right on 22 supplies, so just one drone over. And yeah, he's just getting the speed. But as far as Ag goes, he's not going to be getting the Nexus yet. He's just getting his minerals up, and now he is going to be saving up for that Nexus. But I just want to say, this is a very greedy build, in my opinion, for Protoss players. And I think this really allows a Zerg to play safely. He doesn't have to worry about Protoss pressure, because he knows that the Protoss is going for this expand. And look at this, Lalush has Zerglings. He's just kind of poking in. He sees the Nexus going up. And in my opinion, when I play Zerg and I see a Protoss player go for such a fast expand, I love it, because I will retain full map control. I know the Protoss player is going to be gearing up all these probes. Hold that thought. Looks like the Zerglings are going to surround these Zealots, and they could possibly take down one of them. The Zealot falls. Only one Zealot remains, but only 2 Zerglings. The rest of their brethren falling there, their blood and carcasses spewing out and oozing blood on the floor of Xel'Naga Caverns. What I wanted to say was, I personally love it when Protoss players go for a fast expand. Why? Because I like it. I like to be able to pump mass drones. I don't want to, fear the 4-gate, fear, mass phoenixes or anything like that. I love to be able to just sit back and just spam D all day long on my hatcheries and get a really, really strong economy. And this is what, when a Protoss player goes for this build, it kind of allows you to do it. On top of that, this map is very hard to hold on to the natural, both for Zerg and for Protoss. And look at this, Ag here, brings the Zealot just back in time, but no, is not going to be able to block off the Zerglings from running in. Oh man, I gotta hold my thought every single time, because Lalush is keeping the pressure on, gonna get his Zerglings inside the Protoss main. Is he gonna be able to kill off any drones, or excuse me, probes? We are watching the Protoss here. If we see the income tab, it looks like Lalush is ahead by about 4 harvesters. Great micro with his Zerglings, keeping them alive, not allowing the Zealots to pick off any of those lings. He still has about 6 left, and that's a very threatening force, even for one Zealot, because these Lings have speed. Could they pick off another probe? Nah, very close. The probe just barely gets out of harm's way. Meanwhile, we do have a layer coming up back at the Zerg main. When are these Zerglings gonna die? Ag here has to take out these Lings, and Lalush showing his superior control. This is where Zerg players really do have an advantage. When Protoss players go for fast expand, it can be difficult to hold off your ramp with and your natural at the same time, because Speedlings are so fast, so agile, and Lalush there really exploiting that to his maximum potential. His Zerglings are still alive, ladies and gentlemen. 4 Zerglings up, but it looks like they might finally get picked off, finally, by Ag. One thing that Ag did well, though, is he did not really lose that many Harvesters, although the one thing is the Zerg player Lalush was able to put a lot of pressure on Ag, and that's got to have hurt his build order, forcing him to split a lot of his attention over to the defense. Now, what did I want to say? That was about a minute where I got cut off. I think what I wanted to say was, oh yes, this expansion is very hard to hold. It looks like Ag is going to rectify that by getting pylons here. But what I was going to say is it's very hard to hold, even if you block this off, because Banelings and Zerglings can run in through this side right here. But it looks like Ag is going to rectify that, like I said, getting pylons. So at this point in the game, it looks like his economy is running quite strong. He's just keeping pace with the Zerg, though. And this is why I don't like it. I don't think Protoss should go fast expand so often, because you're never going to be able to really catch up to a Zerg player if he focuses purely on drone production. And he can do that because Ag cannot pressure the Zerg player. So, I don't know, what is Ag going to do? He's getting robotics facility down, but on the other side of the map where the Zerg swarm live, there is going to be a bunch of Hydralisks popping out. We have about 8 or 9 I saw in the production, and there is about, on the units tab, we have about 7 Hydras and about 10 Zerglings, and Hydraling is extremely potent against gateway units as well as Immortals. The only thing that can stop Hydraling effectively is Mass Sentry as well as Colossi. But I don't think we really have Colossus production on the way. We don't even have Robotic Support Bay. There we go. There's a Robotic Support Bay. And we do have another robotics facility going down. So Ag will have the proper units to counter Hydraling. Although he will not have enough Colossus out in time, I don't think. The Zerg player really looking threatening here. Lalush could make another devastating attack. Income, dead even for both players. Hydra range not being researched, but we do have Missile and Carapace on the way. Here we go. Lalush is going to be pushing out. The Observer will spot everything. One Zergling going in just to test the waters, and Ag is in a lot of trouble. That's a lot of Hydralisks. That's a lot of Zerglings. He has to fall back to his Photon Cannons in order to defend this Hydralisk attack. We can see the APM going up for both players as they try to win or lose the game, or try to survive the game right here if you're the Protoss player. Oh my goodness, great micro from both players. Notice the Hydralisk pulling back as soon as they're in the red.